Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm here to continue my Margaret St. Clair series, which I haven't gotten very far into. Margaret St. Clair is an American author, born in Hutchinson, Kansas in 1911, died in 1995 on November 22nd. And I'm talking about her second story, according to my Margaret St. Clair bibliography, which was published in the November 1946 issue of Fantastic Adventures magazine. I do have the story in a book titled The Hole in the Moon and Other Tales, which can be purchased new still. Very good book. From Dover Books, one of my favorite publishers. They've always published some really good books. Unfortunately, I have that book buried around here somewhere. I'm getting way too many books. I couldn't find it for this read of that story. So I did find a PDF of the November 46 Fantastic Adventures, and I read it in there. Found that online. So what is the story about? You have a character named Millie. She's married. And she sees an ad for a company that says they will dispose of people. The ad doesn't go into too much detail, but they will dispose of anybody that you tell them you want to dispose of. Now, she doesn't like her husband very much. And so her curiosity is piqued. But of course, you come across an ad like this, you're going to go, what the hell? They can't possibly. And so you're going to want to know more. And she wants to know more anyway, because she kind of like to get rid of her husband. So she goes to the company and finds out that what they'll do is they'll give you a lame but believable to that person reason for them to go into this department store, and at that time they will basically drug them and put them in a rocket and shoot them into space. All for $2,000. I think it was 2,000, or was it 5,000, something like that. I think it was 2,000. 1946. Things were cheaper. I don't think you can get rid of a person for only $2,000 today. I don't know. I've never tried. Okay, so she writes him a check. I'll stop at that. It has a twist ending, being 1940s, being a 1946 story, and we're starting to get into the 1950s style where you do have these humorous stories with twist endings, the Twilight Zone kind of stories. It was very much a thing for everything that was being written, and this one's no exception. This feels like a Twilight Zone episode, and it's well done. I don't think, because I saw the ending coming from very early on, and I think you will too, I'm not going to give this a top tail status, but science fiction comedy is hard to do well, which is evidenced by another story I recently read and reviewed, Hyperpelocity. It's hard to do comedy well in any kind of literature, but science fiction especially. The magazines are just littered with these attempts at comedic science fiction stories that just don't cut it. Rocket to Limbo is not one of them. It's a pretty darn good story. And like I say, if the ending wasn't so predictable, I'd give this top tail. I enjoyed it immensely. It was really good. Margaret St. Clair is one of the better science fiction writers and deserves to be remembered a lot better than she has. So I encourage you, I recommend you go out and read this story. Won't be your all-time favorite, but I think you'll enjoy it. So if you have read Rocket to Limbo, what did you think? Leave your comments in the comments section. I really want to hear if you agree, disagree, have some other insights. I'd like to see that stuff in the comments. I encourage that. I do not encourage other types of comments that have nothing to do with Rocket to Limbo, Margaret St. Clair, 1950s science fiction comedy stories, Twilight Zone style stories. If it's not one of those topics, I don't want the comment. Otherwise, leave your comment. And I hope you'll hit the like button. And I hope you'll hit the subscribe button for the channel. And I hope you'll come on back for the next Margaret St. Clair story, which is the Soma Rax from 1947. Come back for that story and all the other Margaret St. Clair and other stories, science fictional, fantasy, horror, and otherwise. We do stuff that's not genre also. Come back for all of it.